Okay, hi Satyajit, how are you?
Hi, Michelle. I'm fine. How are you?
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you very much for coming on and being one of my first interviewees for the Tech Nation Exceptional Talent Visa series. And I wanted to congratulate you first and foremost for getting your endorsement. Are you excited?
Thanks. Yeah, I'm really excited. And yeah, it's been a journey of 3 months or around 2 months to apply and finally get the results. So yeah, I'm really excited. I'm looking forward to applying for the visa finally.
Oh, fantastic. Okay, so I wanted to interview you because, there are a lot of people who want to learn how they can too get the endorsement. And let's talk a little bit about your background because, a lot of people have similar backgrounds to you or not, but it's just learning about, who are applying for these endorsements and, whether or not they can also apply because if they have a similar background, why not?
Yeah,
Yeah, if you
sure,
can just share your
sure,
background, please.
sure. I did my undergraduate in India until 2012. Then I did my master's in mechanical engineering in Paris at École Polytechnique. Then I did my master's thesis at Caltech in California. And then I came to Cambridge in 2014 to do my PhD in mechanical engineering. And I finished my PhD early this year. Uh, yeah, and then I started working in a company called Graph Masters as a software engineer. Yeah, so this is basically my academic background so far.
Wow.
Yeah.
And oh wow, you've got such an international experience. And you mentioned that you're in Cambridge. How did you study in Cambridge? What visa were you on at that point?
It's the standard tier 4 student visa, which most students who come from outside of EU get this visa. And it's normally for 4 years and 4 months. And yeah, usually people finish their PhD around in 4 years' time in
Okay.
Cambridge. Yeah.
And then in terms of getting your role at the company at
Graph Masters.
Graph Masters,
Yeah.
sorry. Um, what were you? How did you work on a student visa?
Uh, so there is this scheme called the doctoral extension scheme, which through which the university can sponsor me for one extra year after I'm done with my PhD. And under that visa, I can work for any company. There's no limit of work. So that's a very good thing about this scheme,
Oh,
which
that's
allows people to, either work or search for jobs. Because
and
if you're doing a PhD, it's hard to find time to properly search for jobs. You're focused on PhD, so there's not much time to do anything else. So it makes sense to get 1 year of extra period so that you can properly search for what you're looking for. In my case, I already knew I'm going to work for them. Yeah, so I simply continued to work for them under this visa. Uh, so initial arrangement was they will sponsor me for a tier 2 visa. Um, and mainly I simply wasn't aware of this exceptional talent visa, so I didn't think of it. But in August, I just stumbled upon this visa that it exists and I can apply for it, and then I just applied.
that's great. So they were willing to sponsor you on an ICT visa.
The thing is, so they started their UK branch last year, so they did not have the license yet. That's why they had not sponsored, and
Yeah.
they have applied for the license, and it takes a while to actually get the license. So most likely they will get it by the end of this year. Uh, yeah, so that's the main reason I was still under the doctoral extension scheme.
Mm. Well, that's very fortunate because you had two options. You had a potential company sponsor,
Yeah,
and then with the exceptional talent visa. So yeah, so you had two options in case one didn't go through. You had the opportunity to apply for the other. Now, so in terms of exceptional talent or exceptional promise, which category did you apply for, and which one did you get?
I applied for exceptional promise visa. I played safe. I
You-
wasn't sure if I qualify for exceptional talent. That's why, just to be safe side.
Okay. And now, in terms of, you've got such a technical background in like an engineering background as well.
Yes.
There's also the other visa, the engineering visa,
Yeah.
as well as the technician visa. Now,
Yeah.
if someone is in your shoes as well, which one would they apply for, or why did you choose the technician visa as opposed to the engineering one?
Yeah. So based on my previous achievements, it would make more sense to apply for engineering visa, I would say.
Mm,
But my future lies more towards in this technician visa because I'm working as a software engineer, and it makes sense to if I'm going to continue to work as a software engineer, then it makes sense to apply for this technician visa. And I'm thankful to you as well to
oh,
suggest me that I can still give my documents related to the engineering achievements, and they don't necessarily only have to be digital technology related,
yeah,
directly digital technology related.
yeah,
Yeah, so that's why my documents included both my engineering achievements and my small achievements in my as in my software engineering career, which is basically working as a key engineer in the company, and also uh, basically open sourcing some of my projects in GitHub.
yeah.
So
Yeah, you had a very interesting background. You did have a crossover and an overlap.
yeah,
So, in deciding that, I think it was very, I think you were very good in looking at your past and looking at your future, because your past, meanwhile, is engineering, but your
yeah,
future is in tech. So,
yeah.
yes, that's very useful and insightful to
Thanks.
know. Yeah. Okay, so I just want to ask you a couple more questions because I know that you're very busy now, that you're an exceptionally talented person. And
So are you. So
oh yes, thank you. And so I just wanted to ask you, what proof did you provide? Because you've got 10 documents, only
yeah,
10,
yeah.
and it's deciding which 10 do you submit to make you um, make you convinced that you deserve to be in the UK and put forward your best documents as you can, because I'm sure you had so many documents to choose from, including your patent.
Yeah, so there were so one of my big achievements were yeah, publishing this paper in Science and getting patent out of it. So basically, I had four documents which are related to somewhat this area. So one was patent, another was just this science paper, and that paper has close to 400 citations. So another document actually showing the citation number,
Yeah.
and that research was covered by like some news articles when this research was published back in 2014. So yeah, I picked one of the news article which actually had my name.
Yes. Very good.
Yeah, and also I basically highlighted my
Yes.
name so that it's easier for them to see and they don't have to look from my name in the big articles. So these four documents, straight came from this research. And there were some other documents which were may not be as big an achievement as this, but yeah, things which I felt those fit the descriptions they provide in the document. Um, yeah, so one was a, an acceptance letter for the ASI Data Science Fellowship, and for that fellowship, many PhD students apply, and I think per year they select about 30 students for that, and I was one of them. And I thought, okay, that's a good document to provide, and a link to my GitHub profile, basically a screenshot of my GitHub profile where I have open sourced some of my projects. Um, and the rest of the documents were basically letters from, so one letter was from my one of my professors from the engineering department of Cambridge University. So he was also my PhD examiner. Uh, so he could write a letter basically mentioning the research I have done and the potential it carries. And also he was in a good position to actually judge my past research which I had done before I started my PhD. So basically did a nice letter for that. And another letter I got from, so I basically worked for about 6 months in a startup called iconf.com back in 2016. Uh, so there basically I was in charge of building the website and also helping in. So basically the company organizes conferences, tech conferences, and I was also helping in organizing the conference actually. So the founder of the company, Obi, he also wrote a letter. So yeah, these are basically the important documents.
Yes.
Yeah.
So in terms of those two letters, were they letters of support or those were letters of recommendation from
Oh,
your?
those were letters of support. Yeah, the letters of
Oh,
recommendation, which are separate from those 10 documents,
yes.
those I got from one of them I got from uh, my supervisor in GraphMasters.
Mhm.
His name is Julian. He's also the co-founder and CTO of GraphMasters.
Right.
So he wrote one of the recommendation letter. There is another from Dave. His name is David Haran. He's founder of a very popular app called DroidScript, which recently reached 1 million downloads on
Right.
Google Play. And he organizes tech meetups in Cambridge once a week and to promote his app as well as to help many people in their tech projects. So basically, I met him in 2016. Initially, it started off when I had some doubts in some of my tech projects. And yeah, he was nice enough to clear my doubts. And we have been in touch since then. So at least 2, 3 times a month, I go to his meetups and we discuss several ideas, or he clarifies my doubt, or I also use his app sometimes. And if I have some doubt in using his app, I ask him. And yeah, it's so he was in a nice position to judge my tech projects, I felt. So in the last 2 years, I have done two significant tech projects of my own. Uh, One of them is a website to find tennis partners in real time. I'm calling it comingclock.com. The other one is a 3D puzzle solving game where you basically play a first person shooter game, and while you are playing, you also get to learn vocabulary of a language. So basically, I mixed the concept of playing a first person shooter game and learning a vocabulary of a language so that it becomes very easy and effortless to learn rather than just reading something and trying to learn.
Yeah.
Basically, my
Yeah.
aim is to make learning effortless as playing a game.
Yes.
So the key point is that many people play many 3D video games and there are a lot of instructions in the video games and they don't mind reading all the instructions because it's fun, it's a game. But when it comes to reading a book or something, okay, they get tired mentally. So if
Yes.
these two can be crossover, then there's a chance people can easily learn things. Uh, so this project, what I did, I basically worked on it last year, and he also helped me a bit solving my doubts. So he knew I have worked on these two major projects, and he was in a good position to judge me, my digital technology background. So he wrote another letter for me.
That's really helpful because I think a lot of people struggle who can be their expert and who can
Hmm.
be their letters of recommendation, because you need to have a relationship with this person.
Yeah, yeah,
They need to understand your background and what
yeah,
projects you're currently working on.
yeah.
And you can't just pick someone that you've just met
Oh,
or,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
So in that way, I was fortunate that I knew these guys before, and that's why they could write it. Yeah, otherwise it would have been a bit tricky to find who can write like
Yeah.
two letters. Yeah.
So I agree because I did that as well. I didn't wait for this visa application to find my mentors. I did it along my journey as an entrepreneur because, or, anyone who's in the digital tech sector or anyone working is you find mentors along the way to help
Yeah.
you. And
Yeah.
then when you do need them later on, in which case we did, we just it was easy for us to call upon them,
Hmm.
because they know us, and
Yeah,
they know how we work, and they can easily say, yes, we will help you, and write a letter of recommendation for you. So I
yeah,
think that's really important for anyone who is on their journey of discovery, on any kind of journey, is to seek that support early on and
yes,
maintain that relationship. You know,
yes.
and it
What
has to
many,
be and it has to be a two-way relationship, because it's
yeah, yeah.
he helped you, but you also supported his tech meetups as well.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And
So
yeah, the thing is, I find many people they're very shy to look for advice or look for help,
yes,
and there are many people who are free to help, and they don't mind helping people. So it's important to continuously seeking for help if you
yeah,
want to improve or if you want to work on something new. It's
complete.
uh, yeah.
And it shows you've got courage and initiative to go and seek the help when you need it. And even, you emailing me to say, hi, I'd like to ask you a few questions. I think you found me on LinkedIn, and we had a Skype call, and it was easy. It was,
I searched on LinkedIn, okay, Technician visa or Tier 1 exceptional talent visa, and whatever results I got, I had many questions to ask. So I
yeah,
asked like 10 or 15 people my questions, and maybe around half of them replied. And
yes,
yeah, you were very kind enough to actually talk to me for like 20 minutes. So that was very helpful. And there are two or three other people who also were very helpful. So, I mean, before I submitted my documents, I knew, okay, I have gained all these experience from the previous successful applicants, so I was very confident of a
uh,
good result. So
that's really good. I'm so pleased, and I'm really pleased you did contact me, because I love speaking to people, and especially to people like yourself, who you've got such great experience, and just learning about your background and your projects. So what's next for you now that you've got your endorsement? Okay, you've got your Tier 4 visa.
mhm.
Do you have to go back to your country to apply for the exceptional talent visa then?
Yes, I'm going back to India in December, and I'll be applying there. And normally it takes 3 weeks to get the visa, so I'm hoping to be back in UK in early January. And yeah, regarding my future plan, I mean, for now, I plan to continue working in the current company, and at least until I finish my current projects. And the work is very interesting. At the same time, because this visa gives so much of freedom about what you can work on, I'm also planning to spend more time on the two of my personal projects I described, especially the 3D game, which is more in the line of education. And I'm planning to contact some school teachers to actually streamline it in a way so that I can target a particular subject, and then try to incorporate certain aspects of the subjects into the game so that if a kid or a person plays the game, he can actually learn something about that particular project. And that can be a practical application, and that will be a starting point of maybe hopefully something which can actually be helpful to the society. So that's my aim for now.
And that could be your next research project. It sounds like you love research, and that's really good. And applying it to a real life situation, to help people and to solve real problems as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It
Oh,
that this is one of the things which digital technology or programming is really helpful. You can think of a problem and actually find a solution or make a solution for it in a very short time if you have the experience. So that's the power programming gives, and I really enjoy that.
it looks like you do, and it sounds like you do. So I wish you all the best. Now,
Thank
I
you.
just wanted to ask one last question: is
Yeah,
what advice would you give to other potential applicants who you contacted me in August,
yeah.
and November you received your endorsement. So yeah, so what advice would you give to someone?
Uh, so I have two advices for two types of people. There are people who already have enough accomplishments to be able to apply, and there are other type of people who want to apply but may not have that much of background. So my advice for the first group of people is to, okay, read the list of documents they expect, and if you think you can provide those sort of documents, then you should definitely go for it, and not to get overwhelmed by the word exceptional, uh, which actually happened to me. I think I stumbled upon this visa maybe 2 years ago, and the description was too overwhelming to me. Maybe because I didn't read it completely, and then yeah, I thought, okay, there's no way I'm a world leader in my research, so that's why I just forgot about it until this August. So uh, yeah, and the second group of people who are probably, let's say, students and may not necessarily have the background, or uh, who may not necessarily be able to provide the documents which are required, they can still, if they are really interested in pursuing a career in digital technology, or if programming excites them, or um, yeah, then they can keep learning. There is I've learned a lot through the courses of Udemy, and also there are a lot of free resources available in YouTube. So one can actually learn and start to create any project you want, or like I mentioned of mine. So uh, and in about a year or so, one can make a big progress and to actually create a good digital technology
Yeah,
background, and then one can be in a position to actually apply. So it is something that is highly doable, and it's
yeah.
not like, okay, only certain category of people can apply. So I have been through the process, so I know it is highly doable. So
Yes, it
yeah,
is. It is. It is highly doable, and it's really nice to speak to you before you got your endorsement, and to speak to you now that you
yeah,
have your endorsement. You are the exact same person that I spoke to, but that your confidence
yeah,
is 100 times more. But you were an exceptionally talented a person before you got your endorsement. So I think it's just getting that little bit of confidence to apply,
yeah,
um,
yeah.
and I'm so proud of you. And you know,
Thanks.
you really were like I knew exactly when I spoke to you. Yes, definitely apply. But as you say, even if you don't have it, the criteria is there.
Yeah,
They know what that it
yeah.
says to yeah, it just says this is what you need, so you can work towards it if you don't have it right now.
Yeah, that is also one of the category of documents where they say, okay, you can show evidence of continuous learning.
Yes.
And I just remembered that was also one of my learning, one of those 10 documents where I just sent a screenshot of the courses I had taken in Udemy,
Yeah.
and it also shows how much you have completed. And yeah, so one can definitely take these courses, learn, and actually create your own projects, and that will be a big boost for the profile.
Great. Oh, that's really helpful advice.
Thank you.
So thank you very much for your time, and I wish you all the best. And please have a great Christmas and a safe Christmas. And
You too.
I hope to see you back here in the UK soon as well, early next year, and then we can catch up when I go to Cambridge, because I know I'd love to go to Cambridge again to explore what's out there, because it sounds like so many things are happening in Cambridge.
Sure, you're very welcome to come in Cambridge. Yeah, it is really awesome place. You should definitely visit soon.
Great,
And
I will do.
also, you have a happy Christmas as well.
Thank you very much. All right. Well, I'll
Thanks.
speak to you soon.
See you. Bye.
Bye.